All right. Hey everyone, I'm back and I am so ready to rank and review the ACOTAR series with you. So I had been putting reading off these for a long time, and I had actually just finished A Court of Silver Flames probably not more than a few weeks ago, because it was just a little daunting with the size, of course. But this is by far the best series I've ever read. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so obviously there are going to be a ton of spoilers in this because I am ranking and reviewing each book in the series so far. So just a forewarning, I'm putting this out there before I get started. Spoilers. If you don't want any of these books to be spoiled for you, do not go any further because I might say something that will spoil it. I'm not saying that I will, but I might. To start it off, coming in at number 5, dead last, A Court of Frost and Starlight. Now, I'm sure we all saw this coming because this is by far the lowest rated book out of the series. Now, the reason for that is basically, this is like a Christmas story. I can't say that much goes on in this. You still have Farah, you have Rhys, you have all of their friends, you have Nesta, and this is kind of like a short interlude before A Court of Silver Flames, but it was just so boring. You have very little that happens here. The main thing in the book is Farah looking for the perfect gift for all of her friends. Like I said, not a lot happening. And of course you get Nesta, who is moody and traumatized, and yeah, all of that. So, A Court of Frost and Starlight, not my favorite, coming in at number 5. My review basically says it all. You have Farah shopping for Christmas gifts. Number 4 on my list, A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I basically looked back at my review for this book and I was like, wow, poor little baby naive Heidi, who had never gone into the series yet, thought that this was going to be the best book of the series and it couldn't get any better than this. Boy, was I in for a surprise. This book was honestly, it was so good. It felt more like a Beauty and the Beast retelling with a little magic mixed in here and there. But it was honestly, it was so great. The romance was great. The action was great. You got a lot in this small book. And it's what starts off the series, so it will always hold a special place in my heart. But out of the 5 books that we have right now, this one only comes in at number 4. And for good reason. It's not a bad book. It's a really, really good book, but it's not the best book. So to kind of give you a little blurb for this book, you have Farah and her siblings who are starving in the human world. Farah kills a wolf, which ends up being a fairy. Then she is taken as prisoner into Tamlin, the High Lord of the Spring Court. She's taken into his court and she's forced to stay there. She learns that there's basically a spell on the Spring Court and she ends up having to save them. It is so good. It is really so good and I loved it so much and I can't say enough good things about it, even though it comes in at number 4. Number 3 on my list, A Court of Wings and Ruin. This book is quite hefty. They only get bigger as you go. You have a lot going on in here. You have a lot going on in here. You start off this book with Farah back in the Spring Court, but she is betraying Tamlin by making him believe that she is part of his court again. After they had faced off with Hybern and the Cauldron, and her sisters are High Fae now. A lot goes on. A lot goes on. The first half of this book is really kind of slow, but you get into the second half and there's action galore. I really like this book. I like the betrayal that she has against Tamlin. I like the introduction more of her family. And of course you get all of Rhys and Farah again. What I didn't like was the too convenient ending, but if you want to know a little more about that, you can read my full review on my blog and I'll link to those in the description. This one is number 3 though because it is really great. It is better than A Court of Thorns and Roses, obviously, and this is number 3 in the series. But this whole, the whole plot of the book is basically Farah and Rhys trying to stop the war from happening or at least winning the war. And like I said, the second half, a lot of action. Number 2 on my list is A Court of Silver Flames. So this one, I really had to think a long time about which one I wanted to be number 1, but I knew which one I wanted to be number 1. But this one's still so good. This is basically Nesta's book. This is from Nesta's point of view, and you get Cassian, who is her love interest. This one is by far the spiciest of all of the books. So keep that in mind. But it's so different. It is so different from the other books that it's hard to even rank it with the other books because it's so different. You have Nesta, and she's trying to come back from her trauma from the war. And basically, it's a lot about her healing and a lot about her discovering her powers and her strength. And of course, Cassian. The last maybe 100 pages of the book makes the whole entire series worth reading, just from how nail-biting it is. It is crazy how much you go through with the last 100 pages. My mind was blown, and I'm really, 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 really praying for the next one in the series to come out soon because I need it. I need it. Nesta is officially one of my favorites. I can't say my favorite because, Rhys holds my heart, but she's one of my favorites. Number 2 on my ranking list. We knew this was coming. We really did. Number 1, A Court of Mist and Fury. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. When I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, I was like, wow, I cannot wait to see where this series goes next. And then you get to A Court of Mist and Fury, and you get to see Rhys, and you get to see everything that led up to Rhys, and my mind was just blown. I cannot tell you how much my mind was blown with this book. I was in love with it. The only thing I can compare it to in my mind and like with my emotions, the only thing I can compare it to is a Harry Potter moment. And this is a spoiler for Harry Potter, I'm so sorry. But a Harry Potter moment at the end of the Deathly Hallows when you have Snape showing his memories to Dumbledore. And he says always. He was always in love with Lily Potter. And you get that turnaround. We're like, oh my gosh, Snape was a good guy. That is how I feel with Rhys. And I almost feel, this is going to sound blasphemous, but I almost feel like it was better than Harry Potter with Snape. And I hate saying that because Harry Potter is it's like my whole heart. Rhys is amazing. And I fell in love with the whole book. I fell in love with the whole series. I fell in love with all of the characters and the drama that you have in this book. It's amazing. I don't know what else to say about this book except you do not get series. Okay, you don't get series where the second book is a home run compared to the first book. Like, it is so much better than the first book, and I thought the first book was so good. Like I said, I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say besides this was the best book that I've read by far this year, and my mouth was just on the floor. I was awestruck, obviously, because I can't speak. Number 1 will forever be number 1, and I don't think any other book in this series, hopefully that comes out soon, is ever going to top this, because this was just, whoa. It was whoa. Okay, there you have it. That is my ranking of the ACOTAR series by Sarah J. Maas. I am in love with the series. Obviously, I am in love with the series. I want to know how you rank the series in the comments down below. Please, please, please let me know because I want to see how similar ours are. And also, if you want a more in-depth review and not just me kind of like word vomiting everything that I loved about the books, you can check out the links to my blog reviews in the description down below. So yeah, thanks for watching my word vomit. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, leave me a comment. I'll see you guys later. Bye.